Have mercy on me, a sinner.
Welcome to my Gears of War Judgment Tips to be the best at multiplayer guide. If this is your first time playing a Gears game or you want to just get better, then this is probably the video for you. There are some really key elements you have to practice to really be one of the best players in each Gears of War match that you play. You have to know how to move swiftly, you have to know what weapons to use in the right circumstances, and you also have to know how to study the map and your opponents. First thing is first, let's talk about moving. What I mean by moving swiftly is having the ability to move fast around the map without putting yourself in danger. A common mistake is just holding down the A button and sprinting all around the map. This is an impatient and dangerous way to move because going from sprinting to shooting takes around a second to do. I'm not saying never do it, but try not to do it around corners or areas an enemy can just pop out from nowhere because they have more time to react than you do. Wall bouncing is the best way to move around the map, not only to get around fast but also to be a hard target to shoot. I frequently side jump, back jump and go from cover to cover, and this allows me to surprise and dodge my enemies. Quite often you will find yourself facing an enemy with a Lancer, for example, and the only way to get to him before he kills you is by wall bouncing. He will need a few seconds to kill you, but all you need is 1 second if you have the right weapon, like a shotgun for example. If you are using a shotgun, there are two ways to kill your enemy. You can take a defensive position, and that's where you stand near a wall without actually taking cover on it, so you can see the corner, around the corner really well, looking over your right arm. Or there is the attack position where you are the one running around the corner to kill the enemy. I would suggest personally that you get used to both forms of attacks because the situation won't always be the same. For example, you can come across an enemy using a sniper rifle, and in this instance, it's best to go attack him. If you have the confidence in your wall bouncing skills, then it is safe to really be the attacker in any circumstance. The reason for attacking is because it's really effective. And it's effective because not a lot of people are expecting you to just come charging around the corner because really it's idiotic, but it's actually really effective, especially if there are multiple enemies because then they're not going to be expecting it, double. The reason a defensive position is so effective is because you get the jump on the enemy, especially if they do not know you are there. Them running towards the corner gives you enough time to figure out how long it will take for them to get there, and when the moment is right, all you have to do is pop out and shoot. It's really that easy. Now let's talk about knowing the map. Gears Judgment probably has some of the most messy, confusing maps out of any Gears game. There are parts of each map that there are no point in going. In Gondola, for example, it's really silly to go down the bottom near the water because it's only a one-way path, so if you need to escape, there's really only back and forth. Whereas if you're on the middle part or the top part, there's lots of different ways to go, so there's always variety, whereas at the bottom it's just a one-way path to death most times. Make sure you learn the maps and know how to navigate them. The minute you get lost is the minute your mind goes off the objective, which is either capturing a point or killing somebody, and that leaves you open for attack because you're not really prepared. In each map there are power weapons that will spawn on a semi-consistent basis. It is very important to learn where these weapons are because they can win the game for you. Don't be scared to swap your main weapon for a power weapon if you have to. Also, if you come across a weapon you hate, you don't like using it all, like for example me, the sniper rifle, I don't really like using it. I tend to pick it up anyway so that the enemy team can't use it. If you are having trouble finding an enemy, which happens to us all, head towards the Gears logos that pop up around the map. This signifies that a teammate has just died, which also means an enemy is close by. The last thing we need to talk about is using the right weapons in the right sections. Shotguns, the Gnasher especially, are great weapons for close range areas with lots of cover. There will be times, however, where the distance of your shotgun is no use against the distance of a Lancer, especially when there are no walls to bounce on. Do not be afraid to pull out your snub pistol. While it is the weakest gun in the game, it is secretly very effective, and I myself use it on a semi-regular basis. Now, the Gnasher shotgun is a great all-around weapon. It can one-shot kill people as well as hurt people from a decent range. The sawn-off shotgun, however, is also a very powerful gun, but I do recommend that you do not use it. If you insist on using it, then I suggest you swap your pistol for a longer range weapon whenever you can. Like I mentioned before, power weapons are incredibly important, but a very common mistake people make is that they run for a power weapon as soon as they see it is there. There is no rush at all to pick up a power weapon. If you see one, look around first before picking it up and make sure no one else is there. Again, like I said before, when you sprint for something, your reaction time is lowered. Sprinting for a power weapon is silly because 80% of the time there is an enemy around. Another great thing about having a power weapon is that they only spawn when there is no more ammo for that weapon on the map. So for example, just say you have a boom shot and you have one bullet in there, it's very effective to then go back to where the boom shot spawns, shoot your last bullet, and then you'll know that the boom shot is about to spawn. So if you don't want the enemy to have a weapon, just hold on to it for as long as you can. Even if there's like one bullet in the sniper rifle, just keep it until it respawns, and that is a great way to make sure that your team, the enemy team, doesn't have these amazing weapons. Grenades are a huge part of multiplayer. I suggest either using a normal grenade or a poison grenade. Normal grenades are very easy to get away from, but it's a great way to kind of distance yourself from other players. My personal favourite grenade is the poison type. Not only does it kill enemies when you hit them directly, but again it can also be used in both attack and defense. Quite often I'll find myself really hurt and all I have to do is throw a poison grenade in front of me and I can easily separate myself from the enemy. If they run through it, it'll take like 60% of their health away, which then allows me to quickly shoot them and kill them. If you see an enemy behind cover, all you have to do is throw a poison grenade, near their cover location and they are forced to move for over 5 seconds. Whereas if you throw a normal grenade, the time is greatly reduced because the explosion is very quick. Another mistake people often make, I myself included, is reloading when you don't need to. Yes, reload when you are 100% sure you have the time, but just because you have used 5 Lancer bullets or 1 shotgun bullet for example, it does not mean you have to reload. If you just got out of a battle and you only used 1 bullet, 1 shotgun bullet, you never know how many enemies are around the corner, so take your time when it comes to reloading. I hope these pointers have helped you out a little. If you have any other good tips, please leave them in the comment below, and if they're really good, I'll probably put them in the description. I know some of these pointers might not help you out, but these are my personal tips to be the best at Gears of War Judgment multiplayer, so please be mindful that it actually might help someone else out. Anyway guys, have a good day. See ya.